So this industry actually promotes a lifestyle of exuberance, money, wealth, self-exaltation as well. And that was actually the main reason, just to be honest, why I was drawn to this business, right? At the age of 21, after failing 9 startups, didn't do too well in A-levels as well, the first thing that I wanted to do was to find back my own worth. And the only way to find back my worth then, without the presence of God in my life, is just to prove to others that I have it together in life, right? And that was the main reason why I joined this industry.
I was prompted by God to drop a call to a brother just to invest in him, in the marketplace. And the name that came to my head was Jervis. I still remember I was on one of the staircases, just squatting one corner, and picking up the phone. I gave a breath of prayer and I called Jervis, and he answered, and he shared a lot about his life to me. And I invited him to Brighton that Sunday, and that was when our friendship began more.
I first knew about Loyalle in the year 2017 when I first came into the business, right? And I knew him because of worldly success actually, because he was doing so well in Prom Next then. And I remembered I texted him for 8 months straight, hoping that I could have a meet up with him. And thank God for prompting him to give me a call back. And that was actually how our friendship started from that day. Yeah.
When I first started many years ago in this profession, it was really tough. I actually earned much lesser than what I would earn as an engineer in the first 2 years. And in my 2.5 year, I finally closed my first biggest deal. It was just over $18,000 after many months of hard work. And it was actually during that time just before Gift to the King. And I remember very clearly in the Old Testament, actually from Leviticus and Proverbs, that we honor God with our first fruits. And that promise, that commandment rang hard track to my soul, and that's where I decided to actually honor God with all that I received for that first big commission.
There were so much temptations in this business. I'm just very thankful that I have a lot of wise counselors in my life, and one of which is, of course, my brother sitting beside me, Loyalle, who will always keep me in check and ensure that I do not go haywire, okay, lack of a better word. And I just could be honest, I have succumbed to the lifestyle actually in the year 2019, 2020, whether it's cars, whether it's watches, whether it's a house. And honestly, after this entire season of trials and tribulations in the business, I realized that nothing is certain, nothing is constant, it's all according to God's will. And God honestly taught me financial literacy throughout this entire season, because I grew up in this business, right, from 21, 26. I learned through adulting in this business. Yeah.
How do I fight against the culture of greed? I've learned is through the spirit of generosity. Many times in my industry, I felt tempted to put back all that I've earned back into assets that will generate passive income, like rental. And it makes wise sense in the earthly sense, because I could use the money to grow more money and then to give back to community. But I realized that didn't tackle the issue of my greed in my heart, and that was what culture promoted. And so, understanding of greed, I need to fight back with the spirit of generosity. So I told myself that I have to intentionally write in my calendar every month what day that I'll be giving back to God, what belonged to Him. And that was not easy, because I actually had to go against my natural desires. And every time that I gave monthly, I knew that it was out of responsibility and out of trust in the Lord. And apart from this, I also had wonderful mentors, role models in my life. One of them was Sister Juliana, who was also a role model in her marketplace, and yet she gave generously back to God, and she would share with me her journey, and also spurred me to give regularly back to God, not just in charity, but also in our tithes and gifts to the King.
To be extremely candid, I struggle to set aside a sum of money for God, right? I came into this business because I was allured by the money and the success that we get. And in the past, before having the Lord in my heart, I felt that everything that I earn belongs to me, right? Because it's based on my own merit. But because of wise counsels around me, especially like Loyalle, who always reminds me about the foundation that I have to build in my life, I realized how much of a sinner I was, and I realized that it's important to actually convict and commit part of our money to God as well. Actually, there are two main reasons why Penny and I have started a set account. And the first reason is because we believe that as millennials of this generation, especially millennials of this church, it's time for us to take charge. It's time for us to take the responsibility, because the pioneers of this church and the generations before us have actually actually done a great part in creating a community that grooms us and grows us. And with the vision in 2030 that we're going to own our own building soon, we all have to start giving into this building fund, right? And that's something that spurs me on. And of course, we have amazing leaders, amazing individuals who are full-time in this church, who can excel way better than me in full-time in the marketplace. And for them to give up their time and their life for the Lord, I think we have to honor people like this as well. And I'm so thankful for them. So a spirit of gratitude actually convicts both me and Penny, my partner, to give unto the Lord. So the second reason as to why Penny and I have decided to set up an account for God after saving up for taxes is because we have experienced the joy of giving. So I remember fondly 2020 during Give to the King, Penny actually gave all her part-time money that she earned to the Lord, and that encouraged me a lot. And in 2021, we actually decided to challenge ourselves to give something substantial to us. And after giving that amount, we felt so liberated. And I think one reason why giving is so amazing is because when you give to the Lord, our provider, our creator, you will not succumb to worldly measures of success, and you will realize that you don't have to have full control over your life. And that posture, that heart posture that we have when giving unto the Lord means full trust and full faith that whatever happens, it is His plan and not ours. I'm looking forward to this year's Give to the King, despite the trials and tribulations that both Penny and I are facing in the business, because we know there is a season for us to renew our faith and our strength in our Lord.
Likewise, to all the parents and my peers out there, I can identify because of the much higher increasing household and family expenses. I have feel tempted not to continue to trust and give back to God. But yet I am fully convinced that God is able to provide abundantly so that in all things you can abound in every good work. So for the kingdom's sake, I would choose this 2022 to give to the King and remind myself that He is Lord of my life and I can trust Him because everything I have is His. So I look forward to give you guys 2022 Give to the King.